Remember to envelop them in your illusion slowly. Potemkin did not start with grand spectacles, but with simple sights along the way, such as grazing cattle. Then he brought them on land, heightening the drama until the calculated climax when the windows were flung open to reveal a mighty war machine. Actually, a few thousand men and boats lined up in such a way as to suggest many more. Like Potemkin, involve the target in some kind of journey, physical or otherwise. The feeling of a shared adventure is rife with fantasy associations.
Okay. Sorry for the jump scare, but if you guys enjoyed this Robert Greene book club breakdown, you guys can join the Robert Greene book club. I haven't uploaded in a month or so because 2 months because I was working on my course of Feminine Woman, but you guys can now get access to the Robert Greene book club because I'm gonna be uploading new videos by next week. In 2 weeks I'm gonna be uploading new videos. So for just $5 a month, you guys get access to these videos. I think I post about 1 or 2 chapters per month. And very insightful. No other YouTuber does this, not even Robert Greene himself, people, okay? So yeah, click in the description down below where it says join the Robert Greene book club, and I'll see you. Taking him on a journey, huh? Very interesting. Going on trips, I guess. Sorry, I think the camera's a little off right now. There you go. Going on trips, but that's interesting. Journeys. You see, I learn with you guys too. I'm not just like talking like I know everything, but
Make people feel that they are getting to see and live out something that relates to their deepest yearnings, and they will see happy, prosperous villages where there are only facades.
Okay. Interesting.
Keys to seduction.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, people. This chapter is genuinely mind blowing. Like, cause it makes so much sense, you know. It's genuinely one of the most mind blowing chapters I've ever listened to in this book because it explains why people are so gullible. It explains it, how people can believe things that you usually have to see with your own eyes, how people can believe it without seeing it. It's truly remarkable.
The real world can be unforgiving. Events occur over which we have little control. Other people ignore our feelings in their quests to get what they need. Time runs out before we accomplish what we had wanted. If we ever stopped to look at the present and future in a completely objective way, we would despair. Fortunately, we develop the habit of dreaming early on. In this other mental world that we inhabit, the future is full of rosy possibilities. Perhaps tomorrow we'll sell that brilliant idea or meet the person who will change our lives. Our culture stimulates these fantasies with constant images and stories of marvelous occurrences.
This is why manifestation is such a famous and followed type of like thing, manifesting, because it works, but also it promises everything that humans want, you know, success. And this is the thing, is that a lot of people will misinterpret the true the true teachings of manifesting things. You know, they'll see it from their lazy perspective and think that if you think hard enough about something, it'll happen. And they'll miss the greater picture that manifesting is all about you thinking about what you want, having an intense desire to do it, believing that you could do it, and taking action and learning from your mistakes, and you repeat that process of failing, learning from your failure, and then trying again while you apply the things you learned from your failure. If you keep doing that, it's going to manifest. It's going to manifest. It's how that process works. You could call it magical if you want. Oh, shit. The wind, people. The door opened. Holy shit. I was like, oh my God. The cartel. Juan the cartel member. So you can see how people can just be deceived by cults and and charlatans. It's just blows my mind, honestly. I'm a little mind blown. I'm not gonna lie, people.
And happy romances. The problem is, these images and fantasies exist only in our minds, or on screen. They really aren't enough. We crave the real thing, not this endless daydreaming and titillation.
Yeah, that's why, for example, a lot of people like to watch these types of channels. Let me show you. They love watching videos of how other people live in different countries. Like, I love watching this, honestly. Like, there's a weird comfort of watching people live in other countries, like Americans moving in other countries. For example, living in Italy, American, small town, right? And one of the reasons why people watch these videos,
of course, the tight-knit community you're gonna get there
is because
basically a small talk every time you go
it's
there,
comforting.
the best prices and the best
You know,
offers.
it's comforting, and they get to see how other people's live, and in their minds, temporarily they're able to escape and live there. You know, or why people love to watch family couples, family YouTubers. They're able to sort of like live their family. If you have a bad family life, a lot of people will adopt them as their second family because maybe they're not happy with their own, or maybe they feel lonely. You know, for example, like me, I remember I loved watching Italian like mobster movies, or even like The Sopranos. But I love watching scenes when they were eating pasta. I loved eating pasta when they ate pasta, right? And I think that's because I always liked that, right? I never had, well, I did actually. I was raised in a family, we ate together. But I guess it means I want to do that again. So I watch that and it makes me feel comfortable, right? So that's almost like the same thing, where you're getting a taste of the reality that you want through your fantasies, where people have friends online and they may not have it in real life, but it's enough to fulfill your fantasies. It's enough to tickle that part of yourself.
Your task as a seducer is to bring some flesh and blood into someone's fantasy life by embodying a fantasy figure or creating a scenario resembling that person's dreams. No one can resist the pull of a secret desire that has come to life before their eyes. You must first choose targets who have some repression or dream unrealized.
That's the key. That's the key. It has to be someone whom you can fulfill something for them. If you're finding someone that's completely satisfied, you can't do this with them. And I don't think this could be used for evil, to be honest with you. Because usually most relationships satisfy something from each other. Right? And so and each person promises something. And that's to fulfill the fantasy of being a couple. But the problem is that a lot of people get with people who, what they provide, they don't need. And vice versa. They're only superficially, things usually fizzle out after a while. You know? So, for example, if I'm with a girl and she wants to have a threesome with another dude, she's out of luck. I'm like, girl, I'm the wrong guy. I'm the wrong guy. I'm telling you. You know, I'm not that guy for you. Right? It's an extreme example, but you have to find people who you could be their fantasy. So, for example, if I want to get a wife, I'll go where they're looking for someone that looks like me. An eccentric person that's dark skinned, right? Where would you go? I would go to a secular white country or a secular South American country. For example, Mexico, right? Like, people here really love people who are dark skinned here, and they like artists. So I fit their match, right? If you go to Europe, go to Amsterdam. If I go to Poland, any of those white countries, people, I fulfill it there, right? Actually, it's the exoticness, right? It's a little harder in the United States, slightly bit, not impossible. You know what I'm saying? But if I really want to have that grab that pound of flesh, like have a deep effect, you go where you're not, where your kind is not there. because they're fantasizing about you. I'm from New York. Oh my God, New York. I always wanted to meet someone from New York, right? They're fantasies, and you represent an outlet to New York City. I'm from America. Oh my God, I want to go to America, right? I'm joking around, but you guys kind of get the point, right? Or why poor people usually get scammed by pyramid schemes. Why the fuck you think they get scammed? It's not because they're stupid, but because their pyramid scheme speaks to what they want, what they need. People, this is honestly one of my favorite chapters that I think I've ever listened to in this book, because this is just hitting me like a thunderbolt.
Always the most likely victims of a seduction. Slowly and gradually, you will build up the illusion that they are getting. Seducer is to bring some flesh and blood into someone's fantasy life by embodying a fantasy figure or creating a scenario resembling that person's dreams. No one can resist the pull of a secret desire that has come to life before their eyes. You must first choose targets who have some repression or dream unrealized.
Like, if you're gay and a man is secretly gay, that guy's your perfect victim. If you're a girl and you want to be with another girl, meeting a lesbian is your perfect person, right? And you know, it's kind of interesting how that works, man. There's a certain attraction whenever we meet someone who represents what we want, what we secretly want. We are secretly attracted to them, but also nervous, and we kind of sabotage ourselves from actually following through. You know, because like a part of us wants to follow through, and a part of us don't. You know, and you may not want it when you get it, right? That also happens when the person gets what they fantasize about. They usually don't want it. So that's something you also have to be careful with. The disillusion, the disenchantment. In fact, this book has a chapter on that, which is beware of the after effects. But yeah, let's keep listening.
Really aren't enough. We crave the real thing, not this endless daydreaming and titillation. Your task as a seducer is to bring some flesh and blood into someone's fantasy life by embodying a fantasy figure or creating a scenario resembling that person's dreams. No one can resist the pull of a secret desire that has come to life before their eyes. You must first choose targets who have some repression or dream unrealized, always the most likely victims of a seduction.
For example, the ones that are willing to adopt a child are those who had the desire to have a child, right, and couldn't have one, right? This is honestly something that you guys can really think of and apply in business, apply in everything. It really is. Let me know in the comment section. Am I exaggerating here? Because it's just I've never seen this. I've never seen or heard this from this perspective ever before.
Slowly and gradually, you will build up the illusion that they are getting to see and feel and live those dreams of theirs. Once they have this sensation, they will lose contact with reality and begin to see your fantasy as more real than anything else. And once they lose touch with reality, they are, to quote Stendhal on Lord Byron's female victims, like roasted larks that fall into your mouth. Mm-hmm. Most people have a misconception about illusion. As any magician knows, it need not be built out of anything grand or theatrical. The grand and theatrical can in fact be destructive, calling too much attention to you and your schemes. Instead, create the appearance of normality. Once your targets feel secure, nothing is out of the ordinary, you have room to deceive them. Pei Pu didn't spin the lie about his gender immediately. He took his time, made Boursicot come to him. Once Boursicot had fallen for it, Pei Pu continued to wear men's clothes. In animating a fantasy, the great mistake is imagining it must be larger than life. That would border on camp, which is entertaining but rarely seductive. Instead, what you aim for is what Freud called the uncanny, Something strange and familiar at the same time, like a déjà vu or a childhood memory. Anything slightly irrational and dreamlike.
Yeah, again, it's almost like people who say that they're Jesus, right? For example, let me show you this. Australia. All of the Jesus, you never see black Jesus looking black. Well, maybe you do. In Africa, obviously. Right? If you have a white dude and he goes to Africa and calls himself Jesus, they're like, no, you're not the black. You're not the white. You're the black. So you got to be a white guy. I mean, a black guy if you're in Africa. So let's look at the images right here. Sorry if it's pausing people. I got to get in the computer. Man, where's that guy? The cult leader in this book called right here. Oh, here it is. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. What are the chances, huh? What are the chances that you look exactly like the fucking Leonardo da Vinci painting of Jesus? What are the chances, bro? Like, the dude looks like Jesus. So that's the point, is that he doesn't have to fly. He doesn't have to walk on water to do any. No. All he has to do is look the part. Have something uncanny. What's the uncanny thing about him? The robe. The robe is the uncanny thing. Most people don't have robes. You know? Oh, look at him. He slicked his hair back. I bet that's how Jesus had it during that time. 1 second, people. Hello? 1 second. Hello? Dígame. If you guys enjoy that type of content, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one and you guys have so many situations you guys want me to answer, maybe somebody's playing you, maybe somebody doesn't like you, maybe you want to make somebody like you, maybe you want to tell me your situation and see what I think, you guys can click on the description down below and purchase a one-on-one phone coaching call with me that is completely confidential and nobody knows about it. And there I'll be able to give you my personal opinion about your situation. And at the end of the day, when you work with me, you're gonna get answers, all right? The point is that you're not gonna waste your time. If you guys want to do that, click on the description down below. Those are the one-on-one private confidential phone calls.